U.S. recession fears darken outlook for Japan. Global factories. Tokyo. Japan's manufacturing unit hobby boom slowed to a 4-month low in June as China's COVID-19 curbs disrupted supply chains, whilst many different economies in Asia had been also dealing with headwinds amid developing dangers to the outlook from a ability U.S. recession. Australia's production interest held steady this month, data confirmed on Thursday which, collectively with Japan's figures, come beforehand of a string of European and U.S. Shopping Managers' Index (PMI) surveys due out later within the day. The readings will be carefully scrutinized as financial markets be concerned over sharp hobby rises via the Federal Reserve, and further aggressive tightening deliberate over coming months, that have considerably raised the danger of a U.S. recession. The worldwide macroeconomic outlook has deteriorated materially considering the fact that in 2021, stated Fitch Ratings, which slashed this year's worldwide growth outlook to 2.9% in June from 3.5% in March. Stagflation, that is characterized by continual excessive inflation, high unemployment and susceptible demand, has ended up the dominant danger subject matter given that overdue 1Q22 and a viable potential danger scenario, it said in a document launched this week. A growing range of marketplace gamers, which include U.S. funding organization PIMCO, are caution of the danger of a recession as critical banks across the globe tighten economic policy to fight consistently excessive inflation. A string of latest statistics globally showed policymakers are on foot a good rope as they are trying to diffuse inflation pressures without tipping their respective economies right into a steep downturn. U.S. retail income unexpectedly fell in May and current home sales tumbled to a 2-year low, a signal high inflation and rising borrowing fees have been starting to hurt call for. Britain's economy abruptly shrank in April, including to fears of a pointy slowdown as groups whinge of rising fee of production. In Asia, South Korea's exports for the first 10 days of June shrank nearly 13% year-on-year, underscoring the heightening risk to the vicinity's export-driven economies. And in China, even as exporters enjoyed solid income in May, helped with the aid of easing domestic COVID-19 curbs, many analysts count on a more challenging outlook for the sector's second biggest economy due to the Ukraine conflict and growing raw fabric costs. The Ojibun Bank flash Japan manufacturing PMI slipped to 52.7 in June from 53.3 in May, marking the slowest enlargement seeing that February, the survey confirmed on Thursday. In a signal of the pandemic's lingering impact, vehicle giant Toyota Motor NYSE, TM Corp reduced its July global production plan by 50,000 automobiles as semiconductor shortages and COVID-19 parts supply disruptions continued to lessen output. Despite the latest easing of lockdowns in China, suppliers' transport times persisted to lengthen closing month, albeit at a slightly slower pace, stated Marcel Theliant, senior Japan economist at Capital Economics. The key for Japan might be whether intake rebounds strongly sufficient from a pandemic-induced stoop to offset rising outside headwinds inclusive of an expected U.S. slowdown, analysts say. The PMIs of France, Germany, Eurozone, Britain and the US are due out afterward Thursday.